The creatures in Minecraft are an interesting lot. At first glance, they seem to be fairly basic. We got normal animals, like pigs and cows, basic fantasy enemies, zombies, undead skeletons, slimes, and giant spiders. But then, we've got the not-so-normal things, like the creeper or the enderman. Both are very unique, an exploding ball of moss, and an otherworldly visitor that don't show up in many other settings. Looking closer still, we see wonderful entities, like the villagers, pillagers, and witches. Why do they all look so similar? Why do they have big noses when the player doesn't? Why do the villagers have a healthy-looking pallor, and the illagers have a sickly one? Then there are the blazes, the gas, shulker, and the like. Strange, different, but wholly feeling like they belong within the game of Minecraft. I absolutely adore the lot of them, from how their designs tell the story of Minecraft, how their appearances fit right into the game, and how interacting with each of them has its own mechanics and feel. All this comes together to make Minecraft creatures just work. And so, when one decides to add creatures to the game of Minecraft, either officially or through mods, it is always interesting to see the approach that has taken. In modding, many add creatures from mythology, dragons, vampires, or minotaurs, well-established creatures we all know and love. Others add creatures from media, like from Lovecraft mythos or Pokemon. But sometimes, modders do something I like. They try to add and expand onto the existing creature roster with entities that fit into the game or further add variety to the existing creatures we already have. Sometimes they do a good job, sometimes not so much, but it's always cool to see what they tried. And today, I'm going to showcase one of these attempts and review the mod, Enemy Expansion. It is for Java Edition Minecraft, and I'm using Forge. I am playing on version 1.19.2, and I'm using the shader, Complementary Shader Unbound. Enemies Expansion, believe it or not, is a mod that adds new enemies to the game, and I have gathered them up and put them into little tiers. And starting off with, we have the copper tier of the new mobs. This is not saying they're bad, it's just that they're the run-of-the-mill added. And the mobs we are starting with in the copper tier are a variety of new zombies. The first is, I think, my favorite of the lot, and it's the equestrian. Its design is great. I love enemies riding horses, and I've even added my own lore to this creature that the zombie and the horse are actually a conjoined entity. Its animations are fun, and it does fit into Minecraft for the most part, although it might be a little too exuberant for the base game. But I'm willing to excuse that for said exuberance. The eyes going wild after you hit it is also a nice touch. And honestly, with a bit of work in the sound design of this mob, I could find myself really liking it. Unfortunately, the next two zombie variants don't work quite as well. I get what the maker was going for, but, well, let's just take a look at them. A fast zombie and a large, hulking brute of a zombie. The sprinter and the slugger. Now, those are tropes that are well and true tested, having a faster than normal zombie, and having a bigger and tougher normal than zombie. The problem is their outfits. The sprinter looks like he's ready for a marathon, and while being a little bit taller, just kind of doesn't vibe with the rest of Minecraft. Next to the normal zombie, well sure, maybe they're both wearing human clothes, but this one's dressed like Steve, and that's kind of the mysterious part of the zombie, is why is it wearing Steve's clothes? Whereas this sprinter, well, it's wearing sweatbands. The slugger over here looks like a wrestler. Or maybe it's someone that broke free of their clothing because they're super muscular. But it's purple, which again makes me go to think of wrestler. And just in design in general, well, I think both of them actually have fine enough models. The textures on top of them don't quite work. After that, we have something that I do love, and it fits quite well, and that is the mature. Now this is a zombie head with little legs, and it's all red and horrible, and he eats other zombies, which is kind of fun. So maybe in the lore, whatever this mod is done, after zombies have aged to a certain point, their heads pop off and they turn to horrible little spider creatures that run about trying to eat normal zombies. They also have this feature where if you give them rotten flesh, they can be tamed and they become your pet. And then they get this happy, derpy little expression on their face. And if they're injured, you can give them more rotten flesh to eat, and it will heal them up again and help them get over that injury. Now, I think these are a great design. Their little faces are awesome. The spider sounds, maybe that could be changed, maybe it will be in the future. But as they stand right now, I really like the mature. Or true. I think that's mature. I can't read, don't ask me. After the zombie variants, we have a new variety of spider. They can be found in dripstone caverns, and they are the tarantula. They are these awesome chubby little guys. They don't have evil eyes. They're big and fat and lovely. They are non-hostile during the day like spiders, and you can ride them. Now, I don't know if they're tameable, but they seem to just listen to my commands. They don't have a jump feature, but they do have a crawl feature. However, it does seem to disagree to being written during the night, so you only get your new mount during the day time period. How tubby they are is good. I like their leg movement. It's a good little leg movement. Pretty fast too, and he's just a little guy. Very good. Maybe dropping the bass on his little squeeze and spider noises would also make him more authentically his own creature. Completely different from him, but still a creepy crawly, is the scorpion. These guys are found in deserts. They've got glowing eyeballs. It makes them absolutely horrible at night. They're also absolutely horrible enemies. And if you hit them, they turn invisible, which is a little bit cheeky. They do reveal themselves though by their glowing eyes, making it so if you happen to have a shader, they're much easier to find. And their leg animation is pretty good too. It's just a big scorpion. Although, as everyone knows, insects in Minecraft are just huge. That's a part of the story. Post-apocalyptic radiation made them all big or something. They're more at home, definitely in the sand. It suits them well. And just like spiders and tarantulas, they are friendly during the daytime hours. So you don't have to worry about them poisoning the ever-living heck out of you. Staying on the theme of giant insects, we have giant botflies. They come out of zombies if you kill them. They're kind of gross looking. Their wings, nice little animation. Their eyes are nice. I think they're hostile. Not 100% certain on that. Don't really care for them. They're gross. To contrast that with a flying insect that looks much more pleasant, we have the butterfly that has flutterfly in its name, except it's spelled weird and hurts me. They're just big old flapping butterflies. That's kind of what's to be said about them. And if you pet them, they give you regeneration. Right click on them and they'll heal you, which is a nice add bonus to have them found. If you want to catch them like a fairy in a bottle, you can simply bottle them up and they'll become a light meal. Or you can empty them out. It's your choice what to do with them after the fact that you've caught them. Their sound could probably get a little bit annoying, but their sort of sausage stick body with those little red eyes is just great. It's meant to be a colony of little butterflies, I guess, from the description of the mod. I think the one giant one by itself would be fine. The extra ones flying around, I could leave them or take them. Maybe if they swarmed around in the front and back instead of sort of, I don't know, hovering like an ominous halo behind it, I'd like their appearance better. As it stands, it's alright. Another friendly bug that can be found in the Lush Cave system is the ladybug, or ladybird, if you are from Britain. Ladybug doesn't give you heals if you pet it. If you kill it, it does give you heals. But the better thing to do with it is not only are they a friendly little fellow to have around, you can feed them spider eyes, and they may depose upon you their spat out healing eye, which they'll make for you. It's an ingredient you can use later on. If you decide to kill them, they do fight back, but they give you regeneration upon death and string. Now back to the undead varieties, we have the Huntsman, which is a very tall skeleton variety, which, now that I'm looking at him, I realize he might be a reference to Undertale. I certainly hope not. He's faster than normal, fires arrows, and he's taller than a normal skeleton, fires arrows harder, I guess, and he will fight you immediately. He's got a little furrowed brow. I actually kind of like that brow, looking at it. No expressionary changes. It's got the leather armor. Yeah, it's fine enough. Again, it's just like an upgrade skeleton, and I like upgraded enemies. They can look cool. You can do interesting things with them. Now for the peak of the copper tiers, we have Mr. 20 over here. This is a dire wolf. It is a giant, terrifying wolf. It whimpers like a wolf, but it's got leaps. It's got jumps. It fights skeletons, which is good. It's got its own little attack animation of its mouth growing raw. They seem to be a little bit dim though in their jumping ability. They fling themselves to death. They're quite hostile, and they don't care if it's night or day. They don't care if you have sheep or not, or if you punch them. They want to eat you, and that's that. They got a good look. I like their roar jump. Their walking animation, though, is a little bit derpy. They look like a much smaller dog. You know, those stubby little puppies like Pomskis. They got that sort of walk. I guess they walk like a wolf. They're kind of a hench wolf. Yeah, no, definitely my favorite of the bronze tiers. Their voices, again, like the tarantula, could be a little bit deeper, though, so they sound less like puppy wolf and more like giant prehistoric demon wolf. And finally, for the low end of the bronze tier, or the copper tier, my least favorite is a goblin in Minecraft. And I don't know why people keep making these things, but stop making them. I don't know why people keep putting goblins in Minecraft, especially innocuous mods like this. So many of the creatures in here fit, they work, they look good. The goblin does look good. I like his look. It's got kind of the villager nose, but I don't get why people want to add goblins to Minecraft when they're doing these enemy expansion things. They're not really a Minecraft creature. Like, maybe add an illager that's short and that would work. But to me, they just mentally, they don't work unless you're adding a fantasy mod specifically as a fantasy and you're going, let's change how it works. And it's actually a great mod. Like, look at that. It looks around, its ears wiggle, its arms stick out. It's got good sound effects, even mechanically. I like him. So he attacks you and he steals your XP, and then he runs off cackling and he applies a slow on you. He has this horrible scream when you hurt him. No, they're awful, and if you hurt them too much, they'll start running away as fast as they can. The eyes bug out when they're hurt. They're great design, but they're far too humanoid without being an illager, a villager, or a pigman. And that's where it just doesn't work. We know what the humanoid creatures are that aren't undead, and this isn't one of them. Now, for some of the loot that you can get out of the copper tier, we have a rare drop, which is the meated head, which is you basically get to put the mature's head on your own head, and that has some disturbing implications, like maybe they jump onto things' heads and take them over when they get super mature, and now is it you in control, or is it the mature's head in control? Gives you a little strength bonus on dealing damage. It's got 2 armor, and it's kind of fun having a head on your head. More on that later. The equestrian can give you its horse's head, which gains you speed on a kill, and you get to become the worst version of a centaur while wearing its head. You can actually sort of see there's a strap on it, which is a really nice touch, and you can kind of see your chin underneath, which is also quite nice. And upon getting kills, getting a speed boost, that's a cool feature. I really like the idea of getting monster heads for killing them, and you do get that in base game Minecraft. However, this takes it one step further by actually adding a bonus to that as well, which is a really cool step, and oh, maybe there is a mod, but I would like to see a mod where that is just added in, that now all the heads of the monsters you slay give you a bonus as well if you're wearing them. So they could be terrible armor, but give you something for it. I don't know, just a thought there. Anyways, more on heads as hats later. Onto the other items and drops you can get. From the scorpion, you can get a scorpion tail, which is edible, it's a light meal, but if used as a weapon, it applies poison and slow. So maybe don't eat it so you can stick things with it. And with those covered, let us move on to the iron or silver tier. Either or, it works. Starting off in the iron tier, we have the iron ore tier, which is, it is good, but not as good as it could be. And that is the 3 creeper varieties. We have the intruder, a very big, grumpy hench creeper. We have the faller, a tiny little creeper that's bobbing up and down. And we have the crawler, a close to the ground little creeper with a cute little booty and very stubby legs. Alright, my favorite of the lot is the faller. It's got this sad little face, and when he explodes, he doesn't actually die. He's instead launched into high orbit to slowly come gliding back down. However, as much as I like them in appearance and practical design and game mechanic design, I think they're a little too fast, and I think they have way too much HP. Like, 2 punches from a player should kill them, sort of. deal of damage. Next, we have the Crawler. I think it's my least favorite of the three. He's still very cool. I like the big creeper with sort of the hunched over back. Like the other two, when he explodes, he doesn't die. Our last little friend here, the Crawler, like all the others, survives his own explosions. And he launches himself flying to a new location. He's also fairly fast. Does die decently quick though, so at least he has that going for him. Now the problem with these, and it's a pretty big problem, is they don't behave like creepers. What do I mean by that? A creeper, one, it dies from its own explosion, but that's fine. You can have these things that they don't die. But maybe after they take a certain amount of damage when they explode, they should die. I don't know. It seems a little too much that they can continually explode and they have so much HP. Like the giant one, that's fine. The little one's way too much health. Yeah. But the other thing that creepers do is they run away from cats. They're terrified of them. And so having a pet cat around wards off creepers. Now, do the intruders care about cats? No, they don't. Do the Crawlers care about cats? No. Do the Fallers? No. They couldn't care less. And if you're going to have a creeper analog or a creeper expansion or a variety of a creeper, they have to be terrifying cats. Unless their main feature is cats don't scare them. But if you add that feature, then for balance and lore and ideal state for them, I would say that you have to make it so they're a creeper that's not afraid of cats, and it doesn't get these bonuses of being able to survive their own explosions. Having a creeper that is not afraid of cats is just wrong. Even though I actually like the appearance of the Faller a lot, the Crawler's got his cute little butt, and the Stalker is immune to knockback and kind of terrifying. They just don't behave right, and because of that, I have to say that they're Iron Ore tier. A few balance changes, adding the cat in, they'd be great. Now onto the Iron tier proper. We have the Wasp. And the Wasp is a neutral creature like a bee, and it's got itself a nasty looking stinger. It looks like a giant wasp. It fits into Minecraft, and if you hurt it, its eyes go red, and it gets ready to murder you along with its friends. And that's actually a behavior that wasps happen to have. Stingers at the ready, bee drills coming to kill you. What you see defending me is what is called a drone. Drones are a friendly wasp that will help you out if you have it as a pet. How do you get them as a pet? Well, apparently how you can get a drone is by getting the wasp's thorax. Wasp thorax is a projectile weapon you can use to hurt enemies. It deals a little bit of damage, it's thrown like snowball, but unfortunately I have yet to see them spawn a drone when I've thrown them, and I've thrown quite a few, and not one of them has spawned a drone. But they do make a decent thrown weapon. They charge up fast, have good range, deal okay amount of damage, and can kill a creeper with 3 hits. So they're not bad, but I've yet to see them spawn a drone, which is a bit of a shame because it's cool conceptually. Going back to the creatures, I really do like their design. I like their grass-like thin legs. That's such a nice touch. And how much they sway around gives a sort of meaty weight to their body. And you don't want meaty weight in a stack, but they have it, and it's just like that sort of, oh, I hate it, but that's so good, it really works. Now after them, we have a bit of a contradiction to what I said earlier. Now I'll explain why. See, we have vampires, and it's like, oh, well, that doesn't really fit in either. However, these are done well, unlike the goblin. And why I say they're done well, unlike the goblin, is as a great goblin, it looks like a goblin. It looks like a goblin from any fantasy theme, but it doesn't look like a goblin in Minecraft. Whereas the vampires, they look like vampires you would find in Minecraft. Now these can be found in the same places you find slimes, and they're horrible abominations. Glowing eyes, they've got these bat wings for ears, these drooping bodies. They got a different variety. We've got the flying one, which has this horrible swinging body that sort of drifts about. And then we got the biter, which is the little head by itself flapping about. And all these are actually the same mob. They have some really cool mechanics mixed in with them. If you attack them, they might decide to take flight to avoid getting hurt by you. And if they take additional damage while on fire, then they will explode, which is also great. They really fit into Minecraft. They're like this undead creature that dwells deep in caves, but they're actually not quite the fancy analog. They're not like a blee, I'm a cursed vampire. They're different. They work differently. They have a different way of operating. Now, if you give them zombies to play with, they will bite the zombie will die, and it'll turn into a little head that will flap about and do its own thing. And eventually, this little vampire head should itself turn into the full version of the vampires. It's really cool. I really like them. They've got some cool effects. They work in a very interesting manner. But no, vampire works appropriately, and it's a vampire that works in Minecraft without being a fantasy vampire in Minecraft, if you get my meaning. And again, following that vein, we have the troll. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, he's great. So it is very much a troll, and actually it has the troll face, the meme troll face slightly there. But he is a troll in Minecraft. He's not your typical troll. He's got this sort of weird body, he's got these glowing eyes, this horrible face, he's got this big mouth, sort of these stubby legs, different things. He's got a look for him. He's even got this little face on the back of his head. And if you upset him enough, he gets enraged. His eyes get bigger, they glow, and he starts flailing about in anger. He's got a great design, and again, he works in Minecraft. I don't think he's quite as good as the vampires, because vampires definitely have, I don't know, it's like a mix between a zombie and a phantom. They're just sort of work in the setting. The troll doesn't work quite as much, but you can see him being a mod entity, and he works in this Enemies Expanded, and he's not a troll like the troll you would find in Ice and Fire. Don't get me wrong, I love Ice and Fire. Great fantasy mod, has great trolls, but this is a Minecraft troll, and he works in Minecraft. He's got a good look. He still follows some of the rules of the trolls, which makes him recognizable. If you encounter them during the day and injure them, then they instantly die and are petrified and give you a troll face. Doesn't do anything, but it's something you can get. Another fun thing that the rage troll will do is it will eat zombies. So it'll run over and eat them to recover its health. The troll and vampire also drop items. The troll drops a molar, and the vampire drops a head biter. Now the troll's molar is good at mining stone quickly. Not good at any other sort of mining, but it does get stone done. And the head biter is another head you can put on your head. However, this one is he's actually riding the back of your head. I imagine he's biting into your brain and sucking it. He's got his own little bright eyes staring out at the world. And kills give you HP for this thing, so let's just take a little bit more damage here. Yeah, it should heal you a bit. When you kill something, drop some regen, gives you some armor. I would like it, I think what would make it amazing, it's not required but making it amazing, is if you fell while wearing it, it gave you slow fall and it flapped its wings, so it's kind of like carrying a chicken in Legend of Zelda. I think that would make this hat truly amazing. As it stands right now though, it's a perfectly fine hat, and I really like the design of having the little biter bite onto the back of your head and cling on with his hands, and you just sort of wear it and you get the big bat earwings. No, it's good, it's good. He looks so good. The vampires in general look so good, and again, I feel like they fit into Minecraft, they really do. So, if the goblin being humanoid and not being an illager or a pigman doesn't work, then why do the troll and the vampire work in the appearance of their models? It's very simple actually. The goblin is a humanoid creature, it's another humanoid race. Is like the player, is like a pigman, is like a villager, is like an illager. The troll is like the warden. It is a monster that takes a humanoid form. Same with the vampire. It isn't a humanoid, it isn't another race of player-esque entity. Just like the warden, or just like the Enderman. They look humanoid, but these are otherworldly entities that just don't make sense. They're like aliens. They're these teleporting void creatures that are horrible. Also just looks too much like a goblin, and not enough like a Minecraft. For mostly, we've got the gold tier creatures. Not many of them, but they're both very good. The first is the Silver Queen, and this is a giant silverfish riding a skeleton torso, and it's got its tail as this giant hulked out arm. You can find them in caves underground, large cave systems, and it hits very hard, and has the ended benefit of whenever you hurt it, it poops out silverfish. I have to say I love this design. The arm just looks so good on the contrast of the skeleton body, the head in the center there. It's really well put together, it's got just a great look. Now it has an alternative variety, which is when it's dethroned, and so that's when the silverfish queen is knocked off her skeleton. And to be honest, it just looks like a regular silverfish. However, it's really wiggly. I love how it's just dancing, it's just chilling out, having this little dance. It's a giant dancing silverfish. And honestly, that's all it needs to be. Also, you can get a hat from killing it. Small chance of dropping, but you basically get to wear a giant silverfish on your head. And whenever you take damage, it has a chance of dropping silverfish to aid you in combat. So, yay for more hats. But now, let us come to my favorite design of the lot. The Starved. The Starved can be found in deserts, and during the day, they're chill. They just hang out, they lie there, they don't do anything. At nighttime, they'll attack you. If you poke them, their mouths will open up and they'll complain a little bit. They don't do much moving, they don't do much speaking. And their design is awesome. They blend in with the sand, they're a variety of skeleton, they sort of nestle in a bit more. Got those little claws to drag themselves. Got this sort of derpy little frog face. Little swirly sand hat. I love their little bit of protest if you move them. And they have this feature, which is you can right click on them, open up their mouth, and take whatever's inside out. So you sort of steal their food, and then they'll crawl at you and try to eat you for your transgressions. They are one of the best designed mobs I've seen. Their sound effects are good, they got a little chomping noise. Their appearance is amazing. I love this torso with this giant flat head. It just nestles into the sand, and his crawl really works, the way his mouth moves, the way he charges you really works. Everything about this I love. It really works into Minecraft. I could actually see them adding something similar to this. Also how the head tracks you individually is really cool. Sort of has that bobbing. It actually might be a little too advanced for Minecraft. Minecraft likes to keep things simple in their animation department. But as the mod, I think it's the top thing in this mod. It looks really good. I love him. He's so cute. He's not terrifying, he's just cute, but he is this monster. I love the opening up his mouth and sort of like forcing it back. And he has to like trap door for you. It's hilarious. He's awesome. I really, really like the Starved. To close off, there is a little bit more that this mod has besides the mobs. And that being armor that you can craft out of a few components that are in the base game and one component that is added by this mod. The first thing to make is Phantom Eyes. This is made with the Healing Eye combined with Phantom Membrane to make the Phantom Eye. Use the Phantom Eyes to make the Phantom Cowl, which is made with Phantom Membranes and bones. Then the rest of the Phantom Armor is just made with bones and Phantom Membrane. It gives a practical use to the Phantom Membrane, gives it a bit more of a cool use, and the result is you get an interesting set of armor at the end. It's got these swirly bony designs, it's got a cool look when it's on your body. I actually dig its look, it's kind of this tattered up thing. I don't think it quite works as a base game Minecraft armor. The base game Minecraft armor, ludicrously simple. But as a modded armor, it's fine. It works. I like it. It really works as an added armor, and that's great. I like having new armors to the game. I don't think that armors are as an important thing to match the rest of the look in Minecraft, because let's be perfectly honest, base game Minecraft armor is lame. It is really lame. But this stuff isn't lame. It's got like this shoulder swirl there. I like the little leg swirls. The tatteredness of it is cool. The little gloves hanging down. The back, you got this little spine that runs up to your head and the green glowing eyes. Also, well, not the strongest armor. It's worse than diamond armor. It's about iron armor rating. All the different things give you different bonus effects. So you become stronger in the dark, you jump higher in the dark, and you move fast in the dark, and you get night vision. So when there's monsters about, you suddenly actually get a set of armor that helps you deal with them. Now, it gives you strength instead of jump boost. I think that might just be an error, but the speed is nice. I love having night vision, especially night vision without particle effects, but night vision is one of my favorite effects to gain in Minecraft. And that about wraps up the Enemies Expanded mod. Now, I do like a lot of it. It adds more story, adds more tale to the mod. The varieties on the undead is cool. There's more kinds of undead. Maybe they're mutating, maybe there's something else going on with them. Because Minecraft in my mind is always sort of being this post-apocalyptic world. which is basically really fun, so you get to have the adventure now. So I like the fast zombie, but the sweatbands just don't work appearance-wise. Same with the hench slugger zombie. The equestrian and the mature are both really cool. It's like the world has proceeded long enough that now we're getting this weird mutation horse-riding zombie. Maybe they're conjoined at the groin, maybe they aren't. Who knows? It's a weird centaur, or it's just a zombie riding a horse. But it adds to the story, and a lot of the creatures here add to the story in a different way. Some of them's just more variety, like the giant insects. That's just more giant insects in Minecraft. That's fine. Some of them, like the skeletal creatures, are more things, more undead, more creepy crawlies. And the troll, that's one of the denizens of Minecraft. It's always been here. It feels like it belongs there. And same with the vampires. When you go into the deep caves, you encounter vampires. Maybe explorers went down to the caves and they got attacked by the vampires. They made it to the surface, and then slowly over time, it turned into a disease that made them into the zombies, and that's how the apocalypse happened. And that's why there's only one Steve left, and everything else is certificates now, guarded by their iron golems, the sacred art that they themselves learned and are now sharing with you. Maybe that's the story that this has created. But I like that the mod lets me come up with this story. I might even move the vampire to gold tier, I'm not certain, but just in my mind, it's so good, the vampire. And that new headcanon I came up with kind of just cements it for me. But yeah, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. It took me longer than I wanted it to, because I've had a horrible cold while trying to record it, and that's made it very hard to do the voice recordings. But we got it done, we're there, we're back, baby. We're totally back, and hopefully there'll be a lot more videos after this one. I plan to make them. I hope to work on them. I hope to have you along the way with the journey too. It's going to be fun. We're going to have fun with it. Anyways, if you're watching this like 20 years from now, like, what's this loser talking about? He only made 2 videos after this and they're both terrible. Well then, so be it. But as for now, I've been Lorthorn. Thank you very much for watching this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I like the idea of it. I liked adding the tier system. No, it was good. So, that's all from me for now. Until next time, goodbye. And a shout out to Plush Feathers, who's still my patron for some reason. You're a great dude.